Hi, besties. You've found your community bestie to share thoughts and opinions, recap the shows we love,
Having too much fun.
Bravo should be fun.
and have piping hot gossip sessions about the celebrities and Bravo lebs we love, hate, and love to hate.
He went on a podcast claiming he had a threesome with two women from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Immediately, I was like, I wonder if it's Brandy and Carlton.
I'm Caitlin Marshall, your pop culture and Bravo bestie.
Allegedly allegations.
And if you enjoy fun conversation between friends, listening to your bestie rant about shows we can't get enough of, plus enjoy a little bit of, well, ridiculousness.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. There's a spider that is coming down. Hold on.
Oh my god!
It's like the Blair Witch Project.
Oh my god. Has anybody seen my ring?
Oh my God.
I don't want to ruin the party or anything.
Have you seen my ring? Oh my god. Can you look on the floor for my ring? God, someone's gonna kill me.
Don't mess with me because I will come.
What? Oh.
Feel free to leave that in for whatever entertainment purposes.
You're in the right place. So thanks for joining me on Besties by Bravo.
Hi, besties. Thank you for joining me today. It is Wednesday, March 12th, and we are covering the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, darling. And well, Miss Dorit Kemsley has had a rough week already. I don't know if y'all saw, but Tracy Tudor from Million Dollar Listing went on to Jeff Lewis, and she said that Dorit had not paid her hairstylist, who they both share, as well as the same hairstylist that Kathy Hilton uses. And she said she'd heard about Dorit not paying her stylist, who she also shares with Tracy, and that she had only heard that Dorit recently settled up with her. Y'all, it is messy. Just going to say that. But Dorit went on Watch What Happens Live and said that the reason why she didn't pay her hairstylist immediately was because she had seen, or her office, she said, had flagged charges because he had already, allegedly, according to her, charged his hotel room on her card. And then he essentially, according to her, charged it again. I don't know. Seems interesting to say the least. But what I do find the most interesting is this is the best Dorit's hair has ever looked. So, girl, that's a bummer. That's all I can say. And yes, y'all, I know Real Housewives of Atlanta has started this week. I've seen some mixed reviews online. Let me just say that I think it's going to be a fantastic season. It's almost like a brand new Atlanta. The way they were doing the graphics, the way they were filming, and how it was edited. It's going to be different, and I'm very excited about it. I gave myself a rule now that I'm covering Beverly Hills that I'm only going to be covering 3 shows at a time, because otherwise I go insane. So I do believe Southern Charm will be over soon. So from what I understand and believe, either this week or next week will be the finale. And then we'll have at least, I'm going to guess, a 2-part reunion, but you never know. Bravo loves to milk it, honey. So we'll see how Atlanta's going. If I just can't stand it and have to talk to y'all about it, I may break my 3-show rule, but we shall see. Shall we? Let's get into Beverly Hills. So Dorit and Bose go over to Erica's newly redecorated home, and the ladies are going to be going to Saint Lucia. And my goodness, Bose got them, is it Teflar? Telfar. Oh my God. I even looked it up and followed the brand because I would love one of these bags. Telfar. No, Teflar. Oh my God, Caitlin, get your shit together. Anyway, She filled these bags with goodies for their trip. And let me say, those handbags are not easy to get. They will do a drop, and it's like impossible to get one of those bags. So I'm just going to start there. But Bose says in her confessional that these girls don't know how to plan any girls' trip without drama, and that if anything goes wrong on this trip, it's going to be on them because she's going to plan the most fabulous trip. And if they want to ruin it for themselves, essentially, good luck, ladies. That's on you, not me. We also have Garcelle going over to Sutton's, and they start talking about Kathy Hilton being fashion roadkill and how it was all over the press and things like that. And listen, y'all, I love Kathy Hilton. She's going to have to do something so egregious for me not to like her. I'm sorry, she is. Kathy's cracking up about it in her confessional and just says she always has the best of intentions. They end up discussing Garcelle and Sutton do the Dorit and Sutton situation of it all. And Sutton says they said hello to each other at her fashion show, and she just really wants to put their situation on ice, so to speak. So Garcelle brings up how she had dinner with Dorit and how she told Dorit she didn't think the issue between her and Sutton was just one-sided. At Erica's, it's also brought up, and the aspect of Sutton being upset about her drinking being brought out is mentioned. So Erica tells Dorit,
I have something to say. I have to stop you right now. You saying something about the drinking and her having this reaction about her business? I'm sorry. What about what was done to me?
listen, I hear Erica. Anything that's what about me, of course. Brittany Bateman, what about me? Anyway, they are two totally different situations. Erica does have a point. But at that time, Erica, we were thinking, is Erica going to be facing jail time the way everything was presented to the public? Is she going to be sued? Well, she was, because she was part of the majority thing. But I think it was a totally different thing. And I'm not excusing any sort of substance use that she was doing, but, it was a different situation. And the flashbacks are very damning for Sutton and Garcelle in this regard. I do have to say that. On the other hand, as well, Erica has admitted that it was Lexapro or whatever anti-anxiety, antidepressant she was taking and the alcohol combination at that time that had her even further off the rails. Well, actually, it was also her therapist confirming that as well. So it's a situation where she's not wrong. She's also not right, but it's a bit of everything. Because Garcelle did say Erica needed to figure out her medicine and drink ratio. So if we're going to go after Sutton for that, and have like a whole thing about how it's not okay to go after Sutton, why is it okay to go after Erica? And I think that is a very fair point. Okay. Erica says in her confessional that Sutton is all of a sudden wanting sympathy now that someone is saying something about it to her. And she tells Bose and Dorit that Garcelle constantly defends Sutton's behavior, and Dorit relays what she said about Garcelle having rose-colored glasses when it comes to Sutton's behavior to Garcelle. Garcelle is telling Sutton about Dorit saying that Sutton is okay if she's joking about it herself, which Garcelle also says, yeah, but Sutton can make fun of herself. Dorit, you can't just make fun of her. But when has Sutton joked about her own drinking? She's joked about how finicky she is about her grapefruit juice of choice and how that grapefruit juice, though, let's go ahead and say it, it's what she pours in her vodka drinks, and she carries her own little ocean spray in her purse. But I don't believe I can personally recall a time that Sutton has made a self-deprecating joke about her own alcohol intake. And Sutton even says, I don't joke about that. And then now Garcelle, girl, the way you framed this particular moment, my lovely Garcelle, you make it seem like Dorit was dead serious when she was not when you said this to her. Garcelle tells Sutton how she asked Dorit if Sutton gave her an Hermes Kelly bag, would they be good? And that Dorit was like, oh, yeah, that would change everything. We'd be the best of friends. I mean, she wasn't dead serious about that, Miss Ma'am. Come on. Bose brings up to Erica and Dorit how she's had to hear all about it when it comes to the way she defends Dorit and is called Dorit's mouthpiece, and that Garcelle is over there, quote unquote, keying with her own mouthpiece. Bose tells them that the three of them will also be rooming together in Saint Lucia. Now, Bose did have a point here. Why is it okay for Garcelle to defend Sutton so vehemently, and yet Bose is not allowed to defend Dorit? Even if Dorit gets on everyone's last loving nerve, she's allowed to defend her friend just as much as Garcelle is. Okay, just saying. Now, over at Sutton's, Garcelle brings up Kyle, Mauricio, and how she was talking about it with Dorit. Sutton says that Dorit and Kyle have clearly more than made up the way they were giggling, hugging, cuddling on the sofa the night before at her fashion show. And in confessional, Garcelle does say this. Kyle and Dorit having beef helps Sutton and Kyle have a better relationship because it's like Sutton can get in with Kyle even more. And I think it's all what Sutton wants. She wants to be really good friends with Kyle. Fair point, Garcelle. Now, she wouldn't maybe Garcelle would say that to Sutton. I wouldn't put it past her. Then Garcelle says that she talked with Dorit about the Mauricio photo and how it sucks seeing your ex that making out with a child. I mean, young adult. I mean, whatever. Yeah, he's doing such a cliche thing, my friends. And the way heads would roll if that were me and I were Kyle. Anywho, she brings up Kyle being seen at Morgan Wade's concert and that they can talk about Mauricio in the picture with this younger woman, but they're not allowed to speak on Kyle being at Morgan Wade's concert. Sutton says she just wants to respect Kyle's privacy. And now in confessional, Garcelle says that she thinks Sutton is scared of Kyle, and even though she claims she doesn't bow down to the altar of Kyle Richards, she feels that she definitely bows down. And I mean, Sutton knows, though, that Kyle is what Carlos King calls the force multiplier, friends, that central figure through which most everyone comes together. But I feel a shift slightly in the force multiplier position as Sutton is kind of sneaking her way in there. But like Kyle or not, she will always be in this town, Beverly Hills, no matter what. So I don't think she's at risk of losing that position personally. Doesn't mean that, the rest of the cast ain't coming after ya. Garcelle says it's odd that they can't talk about Morgan, but they can talk about Mauricio, and that they can't say to Kyle, hey, how was the concert? Why weren't you in the audience? And I mean, listen, Garcelle really is all of us in this regard, which she has said it pretty perfectly in a confessional earlier this season, which was the gist of, do we have a right to know what's going on with Kyle and Morgan? No. Do we want to know? Yes. I know I do. I'm a nosy little biatch, but I know I don't have a right to know. She doesn't owe it to me, but I want to know. Sutton thinks the best way to bridge into that topic with Kyle is to just say, hey, we saw you had a great weekend in the press at Morgan's concert, without asking how it was. But Garcelle is in confessional, like, girl, I can't. Sutton tells her that she's trying to map it all out for them because she doesn't want to make Kyle angry. I mean, further proving Garcelle's point. She may not bow down at the altar of Kyle Richards, but she's definitely leaving some offerings. Bose goes to Kyle's house, and y'all, seeing Kyle being fluent in Spanish made me have to add to my list of things I need to be teaching my child or classes. I have a whole list of things that we got to get back into swim lessons. I want to get him in dance classes. He's already in, a sports class. And then now I really want him to learn at least one other language. And I think Spanish would be fantastic for him to learn. It's mom brain just spiraling into, oh my gosh. Okay. Kyle tells Bose she appreciates the text that she sent her when that photo of Mauricio came out. And I love that Bose says, look, I'm the kind of friend, I'm ready for war. I took it, and I'm sorry, it took everything for me to not get in my car and drive over here. Yes, yes, Bose. You guys, I cannot express how much I think Bose is such a good addition to this cast. I can't say it enough. And I am also that type of friend. So, just so you know. And I just feel her on this. I need to double check what's her big three, her astrological big three, because some of the things she was saying in this episode, I was like, oh, that's me. we're the same, babe. In confessional, Bose says that when they were at Dorit's and Kyle made the point she felt Bose hadn't really been trying to get to know her either. And that was Kyle in the flashback really saying, like, I feel singled out. Like, you haven't tried with me because you have preconceived notions based off of what Dorit has said to you. And that she felt that this is a great opportunity for them to open up to each other. And this, my friends, is exactly how this is one of those things where I say, this person should have handled it this way or that way. And I think this would have gone better if they had just tried to do this. And Bose did exactly what was needed. She said, you know what? I hear you. I will make that effort. She goes to Kyle's home. She lives all the way in Hancock Park. To go all the way out to Encino, y'all, it depends on the time of day. That could have been easily an hour drive. I want to put that into perspective for you. I'm impressed by just the simple maturity and receptiveness that Bose has that 9/10 of the women on these shows don't have, and men. Let's be real. So I can't applaud her enough. Kyle tells Bose that when they first met, Mauricio had just moved out. And she gets very emotional, saying she wants to be as open and honest as she can and let Bose in to get to know each other, admitting she realizes that she and Mo haven't gone about this in the traditional way, but that she wasn't ready to leave the house herself or necessarily even wanted to just not live together. In confessional, Kyle admits that when Mauricio came to her and said he wanted to move out, she felt really strange about it and that she would have been happy to just live in separate rooms, doing their own things. But she acknowledges, yeah, that's not really realistic. But we got to admit, it's not only not realistic, it's not fair to Kyle and it's not fair to Mauricio. So, I mean, let's be real here and play that. Okay, let's pretend as if certain things are happening. Let's play as if Kyle and Morgan actually were seeing each other. Was Mauricio supposed to be in the other bedroom while she gallivants off with her? And was Kyle supposed to just chill in that other bedroom while Mauricio goes and lives his best single life? Hell no. No. Because y'all, I would have to drag someone by their hair out of that house. It would be Mauricio. And depending on how the woman reacted, I would just get her on out. But we always go after the men first. That's what we do here at Besties by Bravo, because we support other women, even when they make wrong choices, but we support other women. Okay, that's how we do things. Bose tells Kyle about when her husband Peter died when their daughter was only 4 years old and how she was afraid to ask Peter for a divorce when they were separated because she really didn't want to be the bad guy. So they were separated, but one day she went to pick up their daughter, Lael, and there was a woman there. Excuse me. I'm allowed to move on, but you are not, sir. But this is when they found out his cancer was terminal, and she went to see him at the hospital one day, and this woman was stroking his head, tenderly kissing him. Ooh, I would have lost my shit. I would have. I'm not even going to say I'm not proud of it. It's just, it's who I am at my core. It's just the truth. And we keep it honest around here, my besties. Is it fair? No. Is it my truth? Yes. And I love Bose even more after she admitted this. She says, I lost my mind. I was like, get this bitch out of here. Same, babe. Same. In confessional, Bose says she feels for and empathizes with Kyle because seeing the person move on, that you built this life with, it's painful. And Kyle tells her that she knows Mauricio feels bad enough as it is. And when Bose asks her, well, how do you know that? And why you think that? She says she tells Bose that she knows he does because he would never want to hurt Kyle or the girls. So Bose asks her one of the big questions, which is, when is it okay to move on then? Kyle answers that they're separated and not divorced, or at least filed for divorce. And then when she's asked, Kyle says the photo changed things regarding how long she can be in this limbo. Kyle says that she thinks this photo gave her permission to move forward and needs to have this conversation with Mauricio. So she'll be seeing him the first time since the picture circulated because he's been in Europe. And Bose just is like, Kyle's like, why, you want to be a part of the conversation? You want to come? And she's like, yes, actually, I do. Again, Bose, we are very much alike here. Dorit and PK go to have dinner at Drake's. And again, Dorit is looking flawless as hell. Too bad she wasn't making this payments to Glam, but okay. They sit and Dorit admits, it's a little awkward right now, but she says in confessional they've been separated for 3 months, and what she thought was going to be an amicable separation has turned into the worst roller coaster she could have ever imagined. And yikes, that flashback of her saying PK is not a good father at Kathy's dinner, which she did say on Watch What Happens Live, PK was pissed about. They order their drinks with PK's being a phony Negroni, and she tells him how pleased she is that he's been doing this work, obviously meaning the sobriety. He says to her, well, you've been doing work on yourself as well, haven't you? That was a really bad accent, English accent, forgive me. God, it's like I'm already talking and then I hear it coming out and I'm like, that's not right. And then I try and do better and then I'm like, God, that wasn't right. So thinking that as I'm talking and reading and trying to make it better, it doesn't make it better. Anywho, she tells PK that she has been working on herself and she feels like her eyes are wide open for the first time in a very long time. And he's like, I don't want to misinterpret what you're saying. Basically, he doesn't know how to take that. So she says something has shifted in PK in the last few months, and he brings up his move into a new apartment. He says that one of their issues in the marriage was Dorit being controlling and that it was only a week out when they were separated and he was looking at an apartment after living in the hotel, remember? That she was trying to control where he lived. He says that her getting to stay in their house was in the back of his mind while he's getting in a really small apartment, which was, in my life, as humble as it's ever been. It was a little better, not great though. But also, excuse me, sir? She has your children 24/7. Are there nannies? Sure. But she has those children with her 24/7. And you are going to be resentful that they didn't need to be upended, uprooted, and moved into a little apartment themselves. Sorry, buddy, but it sounds like you're the one who wanted this separation. So you're the one who can GTFOH. Oh. And also, I'm sorry as well, but moving into a small luxury apartment, which I highly doubt is all that small, is the most humbling moment of your life. It wasn't the two foreclosures. I'm sorry, the foreclosure and the bankruptcy and the pre-foreclosure that didn't humble your ass, sir. He says it felt like an approval process from her that he didn't want to go through. She tells him they never actually had the conversation about the apartment. So he says that he didn't want to have that conversation. The way she's looking at him with her eyes that large says she's big mad. And you know what? I was looking at my television, lasered onto PK the same way. You asshole. She then asks him about the 7-page email he sent her that knocked me off my feet. He says that it was only a summary of how she's made him feel and essentially a preview of what things will look like if they don't potentially resolve this separation. He says the reason he asked her to retain a lawyer was because they weren't able to communicate, so he wanted to bring in third-party experts. PK, a lawyer, an attorney is not who is going to help you communicate better with the wife you are separated from. That is what the therapist is for. But wait, you were in there for 4 hours and you stormed out slamming the door. Am I making it clear whose side I'm on? Do I truly believe that Dorit can most likely be insufferable? Yes, but in this situation, oh my gosh, I have something in my eye. Excuse me. You know, when it's like, is there a hair? What is it stabbing me? I'm blind. Help. Send 911. Anyway, I'm not dramatic at all. It's fine. Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. But in the scale of who seems more insufferable, PK's wins. So Dorit wins my love and affection. How about that? Also, the awkwardness of them having this conversation as this poor server is trying to get their food to them and their drinks to them. I mean, I say this poor server, but also I would have loved nothing more than to be that server getting to interrupt this conversation. And you know that about me. I don't even have to tell you. She clarifies that the email he sent her was stating that he has retained a lawyer and that he's essentially 100 steps ahead of her. So she asks him if at any point he wants a divorce. And oh, PK, this next thing that comes out of your mouth, my God. Okay. He says that he thinks this is what ends a marriage. That rather than bringing out the best in me, you could bring out the worst in me. He says the reality of this is that they have to co-parent and have a loving and kind relationship and get back to that different place they used to be in. And then he tells her, "You're my best fucking mate, right?" That English accent. Jesus Christ. Maybe I need some lessons because now it's going to bother me. He also tells her that they need to find the friendship that they've lost. And I don't disagree with that, but the way you're talking to her, you are not my friend whatsoever. Go F yourself. She asks if he has in mind that they are going to try and work things out with the caveat that divorce is there. Like, what are we doing? And he just tells her he doesn't know if divorce is in their future or not. Jesus Christ, sir. Answer a question. It feels like you're trying to control her by not giving her answers. And ain't that the thing? Knowledge is a source of control sometimes. He wants to divorce her, clearly. And Dorit, I'm going to need you to move on from this. She's, again, asking for clarity. And he says they just need to work on their friendship and that maybe at some point they may have that friendship and realize they shouldn't be married and get divorced. This is clearly not the answer Dorit is wanting, and she says as much in confessional. But Dorit, girl, look at you. Look at you. You have a great personality. How many? I mean, yeah, you do. You speak like, I don't know, 15 languages. And if your stunning self were out on the prowl for a man, girl, my love, you would be scooped up so fast because I would hope no man would be dumb enough to let you go by. Do I think you could probably be obnoxious? Yes, of course, because you are. But you deserve love and happiness, baby. She also says in confessional that PK is the one in control at the moment. Duh. So annoying. She just looks at him and says, "Wow, you are hard fucking work, dude." I mean, again, really, you both are. You are. So go be hard work at home separately. And that's what they do. They leave. Bose and her boyfriend Keely are having dinner with her daughter Lael, and Lael and Keely haven't spent a lot of time around each other without other people around. And Bose really wants to move that along because she and Keely are moving fast. They're wanting to have a baby, do all these things. And Bose is anxious AF about it. So Lael they sit down and Lael asks him if they think they'd be moving in together before they got married. He says that he would probably wait until there was an engagement and that he wants Lael and Bose to have a conversation first. So he says he'd move to them and keep his house in San Diego. Smart, because she is a teenager and she lets him know this. Don't uproot a kid in high school. God. Then Lael asks him if they want multiple kids or just one, which Keely has to take a good old gulp of his wine. And Bose is super proud of Lael asking these tough questions because she wants these type of answers. Lael asks essentially about the timeline on all of this, and Keely doesn't answer the question, and Bose lets him get away with it. Girl, I know you are like badass Bose boss biatch, okay? Hold that man's feet to the fire just a little bit more. You didn't directly ask. Your daughter did. You can get away with that one, at least in my opinion, but we've already confirmed and made it clear. I'm a little intense. I mean, yeah, okay. I'll just go ahead and tell you, to be honest. When Jay and I first met, I was talking to him so much and asking him so many questions. We had just randomly met at our apartment building's pool. And because I was, I guess, doing so much, he literally said to me, "You're kind of scaring me." And you know what? I make sure he feels that way all the time. Oh, man. Okay. Trying to keep it on a light note because we're about to have Mauricio coming over to Kyle's home. And we're calling it Kyle's home now, not their home. It is now Kyle Richards' goddamn house. Oh no, here we are again. Kyle Richards stole the goddamn house from Mauricio, except it is hers. Mauricio, get out of here. But also, you're not going to because you're having a scene at your old home. She gets to it, thank God, and asks about his trip. And he claims it was a lot of spas, sound healing, and spiritual healing. Okay, Mo, I'm so sure. Were you healing that 20-something-year-old's vagina? Then he claims he only partied 5 out of the 25 nights he was in Europe. And thank you, Kyle, for being like, sure. We get a flashback to the caviar Caspia lunch that I don't believe we saw. I don't recall this because I feel like I would have clocked that immediately. Because messy, morally corrupt Faye Resnick. Whoa. Faye said at this lunch to Dorit that Mo was trying to get PK and her own husband to go to Saint Tropez with him, and that now he's trying to get my husband in on his single lifestyle. Excuse you. The look on Kyle's face too. You are an asshole to your friend. I think Faye was drunk at this lunch. Okay, that's just my opinion. I mean, who needs enemies when Faye Resnick will say shit like that in front of a group of your friends? What an asshole thing to do. Sorry, but wow. In confessional, Kyle says it's awkward and that Mauricio is keeping himself busy so he doesn't have to deal with her as he's trying to make a coffee or a tea and let me get the mug and the spoon and da. He then tells Kyle that it was an awkward trip because it was the first time to go on one like this without his family. Again, I'm so sure. Was it like super awkward when you were in bed with that 20-something-year-old? Was it like so awkward that you just like had to get really close to her? He tells her that he wanted to take advantage of being alone, run around, make decisions last minute. And as Kyle is trying to listen to him, he starts clank, 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 stirring his coffee, just clanking that spoon as loud as possible. Like, dude, stop. It's not going to keep you from having to have this conversation. So buck up and stop. She just kind of blinks at him about it, like, are you effing kidding me? Stop. And says, well, and she stares him down. I love how she's like, you are the one who's going to have to bring this up. You need to be uncomfortable. I've dealt with the uncomfort of this for long enough. This is on you, bucko. Then he says, you know, obviously in Mykonos, I got photographed in the airport, and you know that I would never want to do anything on purpose that would hurt you or the kids. I really am sorry for hurting you. I would never want to hurt you on purpose. I mean, yeah, okay. He doesn't, I will say he technically doesn't have to apologize for it happening, but he could have been far more discreet. She tells him she knows he wouldn't hurt her on purpose and that he didn't know he was being photographed, but then she sneaks in there that she doesn't know that the other person didn't know they were being photographed and that it's just hard to see. But you do notice, my friends, that he doesn't even try to defend this girl, which it also would do absolutely no good in this situation if he did, but still tells you a lot right there. She says that they are separated and allowed to do what they want in this time. And at the same time, it is strange. In confessional, Kyle says the photos told her that he's moving on, that she could live in the fantasy land, but this photo was a hammer on the head that it's time to move on, sis. And it's sad. She does wonder how they got there when they care about each other so much and after everything they've built together. And she starts crying in front of Mo, telling him she doesn't know what she's supposed to do now. In confessional, she admits that the photos made it clear this is a permanent thing and that it wouldn't be as easy to come back from this in particular. Look, I get so much flack for the fact that I like Kyle. Don't even ask me why I do. I can't help it. Trust me, I have plenty of people I don't like. Y'all know this. It ain't that hard for me to dislike someone, but it is, for whatever reason, kind of difficult for me to hate on Kyle as much as everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people would like for me to. Oh my God, can I tell you guys something? I just looked, I never look at myself in I'm doing YouTube, of course. And my hair, I have finally discovered something. This is not an ad, by the way. I feel like I just have, like, we don't gatekeep here. And besties, you know, I used to be a hairstylist. You know, I know about hair. I found the most incredible at-home hair gloss. I wish the price were better. I'm not going to lie to you. I do. You use it once a week. But the way living in Colorado, where even if you have a humidifier on at night, it's still dry as a bone. If you're watching on YouTube, I've told you all about how I've literally been going through so much hair thinning, doing the derma roller thing, everything but minoxidil, because I have heard the side effects of minoxidil. Number one, it tends to age you faster. And y'all, no, we're not doing that. So we're just going to have to do it a different way. The red lights, therapy, comb, all of it. Okay. And then the bottom of my hair is dry. This hair gloss is so good. Listen, you can go find it on your own. I will have it linked in my LTK if you just want to do that. I don't care where you get it, how you get it. It's so good. Unfortunately, I only know of 2 places that sell this brand. And it's called RHOBH, ORIBE, and it's like an accent over the E. It's what my salon uses. And it smells better than any hair product I have ever bought or used. It's my favorite smelling hair product. It's their mirror. It's like what's it called? Like the mirror gloss. You guys, it is a freaking game changer. You can basically like have one deep conditioning hair mask and also this hair gloss. Oh my God. I will preface that it's like either $65 or $68. I said it was not a price I love. But I've tried Amica hair gloss. I've tried L'Oreal because L'Oreal owns like everything, including Kerastase. So this is a holy grail product for me. I have never been more pleased by a hair product that I have bought, aside from the price of it. Because, especially like my long-haired girlies, my piece of advice with it is if you have like really dry hair, because mine gets so dry, do the shampoo and conditioner, rinse it out, then put the gloss on. I personally have to do because my hair's been lightened, things like that. Anyway, get back on track, Caitlin. The ADHDs sometimes. Okay. Anyway, everyone is packing for Saint Lucia. And when Dorit shows her little guy Jagger this like sequin set that she's going to pack because she wants to wear it for her birthday dinner, she's like, "What do you think about this, Jaggy?" And he just goes,
I don't think it's mature enough.
"Oh, Dorit, you're even catching strays from your child." And she looks at him and she goes,
It's Paco Rabanne.
"Ma'am, your 8-year-old shouldn't even understand why just it being Paco Rabanne should be the answer. He should be accustomed to the labels of Gap Kids and Old Navy." Y'all, full transparency, Gap Kids and Zara are the high-end shit in this household when it comes to my child. Okay? It's going to get stained, torn, grown out of. Old Navy is my go-to. And you know what? Costco even had some cute outfits today that I got him. So they don't care. Except McCoy is now very adamant that he picks out his own clothes. Get back on track, Caitlin. God damn it. Okay. Anyway, that hat Jennifer Tilly is trying on as she's packing, showing her assistant. I don't know how else to describe it other than it appears as though she has hunted, murdered, and plucked the gay big bird who was moonlighting as a drag queen at Hamburger Mary's. Because, ma'am, what is that? What was that? If you spent more than $5 on that hat, we're going to have a discussion. We are now officially in Saint Lucia, and I now also have to officially admit, I feel that this is becoming personal and targeted, that I am not currently on vacation. Please raise your hand if you have been personally victimized by Bravo and the tropical luxury vacations. My hand's way up in the air. Oh my gosh, Bose's outfit, I have to say, is everything that color of blue. It's that YSL blue, and oh, it looks so stunning on her. We're now going to be divvying up the rooms, and Kyle and Kathy are in a villa, Sutton, Garcelle, and Jennifer Tilly in another. We already know Bose, Dorit, and Eric are in one. And say what you want, but I think Bose assigned the rooms flawlessly. It was perfect. Now we're going to tour the villas, and I really feel like Bravo's just rubbing my face in it and trying to hurt my feelings. Everyone's unpacking, and Jennifer Tilly's candy has spilled all over her suitcase. Are those Mike and Ike's? What are they? I mean this with the utmost respect and without being mean. They do look like the candy that older people ate as little kids. And she further confirms this mature remark I'm making by saying,
Oh no, Mr. Bill.
and she sees it spilled everywhere. That's something my parents say all the time. And I guess it's from like an SNL sketch, a long running one that was like a parody of a children's show, I guess. It's like a little claymation guy. Here you go. Jennifer is literally panicking at the idea of being without her candy for the next few days. And she says in confessional that she knows she is going to need to eat this candy at 3 a.m. after one of their terrifying dinners. Okay. Sutton, Jennifer, and Garcelle sit and talk, and Sutton is wondering if she's even settled things with Dorit somehow, maybe unbeknownst to her. Garcelle mentions that she hasn't even seen Sutton or Dorit say hello to each other. And Sutton's like, yeah, I'm getting weird vibes from Dorit. Jennifer brings up the effing obvious, thank you, Ms. Captain Obvious Tilly, that the last time when Dorit and Sutton spoke was at Caviar Caspia. And well, that went so well, was Sutton replying to Dorit when Dorit said, "Did I call you a bitch?" And Sutton saying, "No, and I should have called you a fucking bitch." Real classed up caviar ladies who lunch meeting there. And Sutton clearly is recalling all of this. And she just goes, I think that she digs at me pretty hard. Garcelle just goes, okay, we're back. I see the eyes. And in confessional shows, that's exactly what she means by the eyes. Dorit, Erica, and Bose are talking, and Dorit says she wants to have fun on this trip and that she can tell what mood Sutton is coming in with by looking at her. And that she sees Sutton is coming in. It was an interesting Sutton impression, I'm not going to lie.
Uh-oh, I may have been a bad girl.
I don't know if that sounded as weird to you as it sounded to my own ears when it came out of my mouth. Very bizarre. Oh my gosh, I can't sometimes, our friends. Sutton tells Jennifer and Garcelle that she sees Dorit acting like she's besties with Kyle again and that the forgiveness factor with Kyle is so very different than it is with her. And Garcelle's like, yeah, but it's always been that way with Kyle and Dorit, which is true. We saw Kyle screaming at Dorit in Aspen and they were fine eventually. And then it's admitted by Garcelle that they probably say the same thing about Sutton and Garcelle. Jennifer says, as a newcomer, though, that this is a tough group to crack and that she has a weird expectation of them all linked together, skipping, singing. We're up to see the wizard, the wonderful Andy of Oz. Okay, don't ask. In confessional, Jennifer says she wants people to like her and thought this would be like a whole girl gang of girlfriends and sleepovers, braiding, and chubby bunny marshmallow time. And it's not. She tells Garcelle and Sutton that she's intimidated and that the other group does feel like the popular girls at school. And I have to be saying here, I would feel so uncomfortable if that's how I was feeling. And I'm still trying to find where those blinds that were going around saying that the whole cast cannot stand Jennifer Tilly. Because if that's the case, what the hell has she even done to them? Is she so rich and a little bit in your face about it? Yes. But hello, Sutton Strack, give me a break. You're all kind of in your face about how rich you are, considering Dorit's confessional look. I mean, did you run through a rack at Chanel, twist yourself around, and run out? There is no inch of her that is not covered in Chanel in that confessional. I mean, I like it, but come on. Jennifer then says in confessional that she could never make her way when she was a kid into that popular group of girls with her secondhand clothes, her lack of bathing, and just her overall hippie persona. And it just never really had her fitting in with that popular group. So I think it's really just taking her back to that time. Jennifer then asks Sutton if she's feeling like no matter what she does with Dorit, that she just can't fix it. Sutton starts crying, saying it's been a long row with the group and that she feels like the only person who supports her at all is Garcelle and that even Kyle doesn't. With no one saying to Dorit, hey, it's been too much. But Sutton, you're the one who takes it just like Dorit will toe that line. She really will. And she will press that annoying button far too many times when we've all seen it. Okay. I don't even have to re-explain this. But Sutton, if anyone jumps and sprints over that line, it's you, my love. And Kyle did kind of do that with Dorit at the 4th of July party when she went after Sutton. And look, Kyle is trying to repair her relationship with Dorit as well. So she can only do so much. But Garcelle is going to... No, she already said that. I'm sorry. I forgot. She already did say this. This is the point. Is Sutton clearly feels more pushed out whenever Dorit and Kyle are good. So as long as Dorit and Kyle are fighting, Sutton is in a good place. In confessional, Garcelle says the $1 million question is, why does Sutton always stand up for Kyle when Kyle doesn't do it for her? I'll tell you why, because Sutton doesn't always stand up for Kyle. She's only been doing that randomly this season after she was such a monster to Kyle in Kyle's own kitchen, saying things like, you already lost a sister. You want to lose another? Come on. Sutton tells them that she wants the other girls to like her so much, but she just can't get them to. Wow, y'all. And 24 hours later on the boat, we get that card. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dorit is yelling at Sutton.
You can't always be the one to give it and not take it.
Then Erica's saying to Sutton.
You pose as a friend and then oftentimes work as an enemy.
And then Sutton's going, this is not gonna be Sutton on trial at sea. And that has Erica going,
Okay, well, now you're being ridiculous.
and then Sutton yelling, what do y'all effing want from me? Seriously, what do you effing want from me?
Whew, it's going to get explosive.
Sure is. And apparently, if Garcelle intervenes at all, she's being her mouthpiece, so no one can win. Sutton, you shouldn't have been such an asshole to Dorit. You really shouldn't have. It was too much. Too much. Love ya. Slutting for Sutton, but gotta be honest, when it's too much, it's too much. Anywho, besties, thank you again for joining me today. We have Summer House new episode on tonight, so I will be covering that tomorrow, Thursday. And then because tomorrow's Thursday, we have a new episode of Southern Charm, which I will be covering on Friday. So for the time being, we're going to be here with each other Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Aren't we happy about that? Lots of time together, besties. Please leave a 5-star review wherever it is you listen. It does mean the world. I love seeing the comments with the review. Also, feel free to DM me if you want to also give me a follow on Instagram, TikTok. Also, subscribe to YouTube. That's all the same name, at Besties by Caitlin. And Caitlin is spelled Caitlin. If you're watching here on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe, do all the cute things. Leave a little comment. Y'all know I always reply. And also, like I said, if you want to know if you have a hard time finding the Aura-based stuff I was talking about, my LTK is in the show notes. But you don't listen. I'm not one of those that's like, oh my God, swipe up for more, please, right now. You have to swipe up for more. I'm not going to tell you unless you leave the comment that says shiny as fuck hair, and then I'll DM you. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Thank you so much. I can't. So I've told you where to find it. You can find it in the links, or you can just go Google it yourself. Whatever floats your boat, my friends. Also, check out the Pop Culture Besties Etsy merch shop. It's all designed by me. And aside from that, I will see you tomorrow, besties. Thank you again for joining me. Bye.